Hello, everybody. Hope you're having a great day. I am so excited to do this training today on LifePack. We have a new format. It's going to be an incredible new formula that we're going to talk about, the science, the benefits, the claims. And as you can see here, we have some new packaging as well with LifePack. You just kind of pull it to the side. You have LifePack in these sachets and really, really, really small, tiny tablets that we're going to talk about why all that is, what's so incredible about the new formula, and why everyone should be so excited about what's to come. So, we're going to dive in. We're going to talk about a lot of different things here with LifePack today. So, a little bit of background to set this up. Do dietary recommendations equal healthy eating? I want you to answer that own question for yourself. You can see all these different kinds of pyramids and food plates, and now back to a pyramid as well. Is it translating to better eating behaviors? And I think when we look at the data, the answer is no, right? We have less than ideal diets. And as you can see here on this graph, only about 1 in 10 of us, or 10% of us, get the minimum recommendation for fruits and vegetables, which is 5 servings a day. And because of this, we have what's been called a phytonutrient gap. And maybe that's a new term. But on average, only about 8 out of 10 adults, they're falling short across every color of phytonutrients when you look at the average phytonutrient intake of those that are eating the recommended amounts of fruits and vegetables. And research shows that a variety of colorful fruits and vegetables may have more significant health benefits than a less varied diet. So color matters. We've been told to eat the rainbow, and that's because these different colored phytonutrients from these different colored foods provide different types of antioxidants to provide a better comprehensive network of antioxidants inside of our body. Well, it's not just a phytonutrient gap, there's also a vitamin and mineral gap. And as you can see here, you look across the board, there are deficiencies in vitamin A, C, D, and E, and some of the B vitamins, and some of the minerals too. You look at calcium, magnesium, and some of the others as well. I want to focus in on here on what's called the triage theory of aging. And what this theory says is that when you are marginally deficient in one or more different nutrients in the body will use those nutrients for what it needs to survive at the expense of long-term health and wellness. So what this means is that when you're marginally deficient in, let's say, vitamin A or vitamin K or whatever the nutrient is, your body's going to use what it needs to survive, but that's not going to be good for ideal health span and longevity benefits. And so we want to make sure that we're covering those gaps and not just covering those gaps, providing optimal nutrition that we'll get to. Well, guess what? These deficiencies, they're happening on a global basis. There was a very large, incredible paper that was published in Lancet in 2024 that looked at estimated deficiencies for different vitamins and minerals. And these estimates of inadequate intake is actually very, very high. I mean, you can look here, iodine, vitamin E, calcium, and iron. 60% or more have inadequate intake of not meeting just the minimum needs that we need inside of the body. Riboflavin, folate, vitamin C, vitamin B6, 50 plus percentile, and the list goes on and on. This is a global problem that we need to address. And good nutrition matters to help protect us from what we call oxidative stress. So, this is where we get into free radical biology, where we have these free radicals from smoking, sunlight, alcohol, stress, metabolism, pollution, poor diet. And these things, these free radicals, they can build up in oxidative damage where they're damaging our cells, our DNA, our lipids, our proteins. And generally, this kind of damage, it increases with aging and it leads to age-related health concerns. This is one of the key theories in aging that we need to address. So the result of this is that, well, this oxidative stress and other accelerators of aging, like chronic inflammation, well, they lead to a bigger gap between our health span and our lifespan. Our health span meaning the quality of life that we live, and the lifespan meaning how long we live, right? But it's really all about that health span. And we know that nutrition plays an absolute critical piece. Think of it like a foundation to support this health and wellness journey. In addition to physical activity, optimal sleep, cognitive training, managing our stress, there are many other factors too, but nutrition is that key pillar that we want to address today. So, with that, we want to introduce our new Life Pack formula. Now, for those who are new, LifePack has been around for 20 plus years and it's been an incredible product for us. It does really well because it is that nutritional foundation that we want to support. Well, this latest update in Life Pack is based on the latest science. As we know, science continues to evolve, it continues to change. We look at those changes and we update it based on consumer feedback and the latest science. This is optimized nutritional formula. We're going to talk about that word optimized and what that means. This is going to deliver 30 plus vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, phytonutrients, and carotenoids. There's a lot that is packed in to these convenient sachets. And then it's vegetarian friendly, which is going to be a new claim that we have with this version compared to the previous version that we had. So let's dive in and talk about all of this. Begins with optimal nutrition. Okay. Optimal means that we're going beyond those minimum requirements. Okay. We're providing these vitamins and minerals at optimized levels to support good health and wellness, but still lower than that upper limit of good safety. So if we can look at that visually, we have what's called the estimated average requirement. This is going to meet the needs for about half the population. And then a few standard deviations above that, you have the daily value. This is what the recommendation is to fill the gaps for most of the population. But then we have optimal nutrient levels that applies to certain nutrients. And this is why when you look at the label for Life Pack, you're going to see certain nutrients like vitamin C, vitamin D, vitamin E, and many others that are above 100% of the daily value because it's based on our review of the science to say, hey, how do we optimize this based on diet, based on clinical studies, but still be below the upper limit intake. So when we formulate Life Pack, we look at average diets, we look at what we want to formulate to provide optimal nutrition and still make sure that it's safe for our consumers. Now, a good example of this optimized nutrient level is going to be with vitamin C. We know vitamin C is critical, right? What if you had a half a cup of blueberries, an orange, half a cup of banana, right? And the list goes on. Well, how much vitamin C is that going to provide? About 181 milligrams. Okay. Well, that would be a good, healthy serving of fruits and vegetables in our diets. Well, what do we put in Life Pack? 200 milligrams. This is going to be an optimized level based on what we see from a good, healthy diet, combined with the literature to be able to saturate those immune cells with vitamin C, to be able to provide good nutrient levels in the body, but also to optimize bioavailability because you're going to absorb really, really high amounts of vitamin C at that dose. If you're taking mega doses, 500, 1,000 milligrams, you're going to absorb much less. So we consider all of those things when we consider what is going to be optimal for our consumers. Well, Life Pack, like I said, is very convenient. It is more than 8 formulas in one, okay? It is a multivitamin mineral supplement. It is a heart health formula, bone and muscle, immune, energy and metabolic, brain, antioxidant, and healthy aging. We're going to focus in on that one. And hair, skin, nails, and healthy teeth and gums. That's a lot of formulas packed into these convenient sachets. So let's highlight some of these things because for multivitamin, we have optimized levels, not just preventing deficiencies of vitamins and minerals. For heart, we have a lot of B vitamins, magnesium, vitamin K2. For bone, calcium, magnesium, vitamin D3, K2. That's important to me because if you go to the store and buy a bone formula and all it has is calcium, it's missing out on all of these other important nutrients. We need vitamin D3 to help the calcium absorb. Magnesium also plays a structural role in our bone, and vitamin K2, we're going to talk about that more in a second. This helps to grab onto that calcium and take it into the bone as well, which is very, very critical and very important. Immune function, we have this whole blend of different nutrients. Uh, some of my favorites are carotenoids, and we'll talk about that more too. For energy and metabolism, B vitamins, magnesium, chromium. For brain, we have B vitamins, antioxidants, and carotenoids. For antioxidants and healthy aging, we have vitamins, minerals, phytos, and carotenoids. And then hair, skin, and nails, and healthy teeth and gums, biotin, zinc, selenium, vitamin C, and D3. So the point I'm trying to make here is that it's not just one hero ingredient that's going to support all of these things, right? It's a blend of different nutrients that are working together to optimize all of these formulas in one. So this is where we get into some of the new stuff. When we talk about some of the key nutrient upgrades, when we looked at the science and consumer feedback. So vitamin K2, it is more active than K1 in maintaining bone and heart health. It's really hard to get from your diet too. It's more from fermented foods that is not very common in our diets. LifePak provides 40 micrograms per day of K2. So this is also a special form of K2 that is actually has a bead lid or it's microencapsulated to provide really, really good stability, which is important in a multivitamin mineral supplement because the minerals can actually interact with the vitamin K2. And so that extra layer of protection provides a really stable, highly effective source of K2, giving you cardiovascular benefits that you just don't get with K1 because it does a really, really good job of grabbing that calcium, like I said, and taking it into the bones to support that bone health benefit, but also protecting, right, our blood vessels from that calcium that can build up. Methylated B vitamins. Yes, we have heard you. This is something that has been very important to our consumers. These are biologically active forms of B vitamins that are found inside of the body. So we are using B12 as methylcobalamin, and folate we're delivering as a blend of L5-MTHF, right? In addition to folic acid. So the reason for that is that we've done extensive testing and found that folate as this active methylfolate form is actually not very, very stable in a multivitamin supplement. And so we want to provide the methyl form to help address a good percent of the population, up to about half the population based on the studies, that have certain genetic variants that make it more difficult to actually convert the folic acid to the active methyl form inside of the body. Um, and that's going to be important for them because they don't need that conversion step. But at the same time, we're delivering this blend to be able to meet label claims to provide the amount that we intend our consumers to get. In addition to looking at all of the safety studies and the efficacy studies that exist on the different forms of folate, this blend we believe is going to be optimal for our consumers, for those with and without these genetic variants to be able to support optimal levels of folate inside of the body to support all the benefits that it provides. And then we're providing a marine magnesium source. This is more bioavailable and bioaccessible than other common forms of magnesium, like magnesium oxide. It's also well tolerated, and there are studies that actually confirm this and show the really good bioavailability of this form of magnesium. Some additional upgrades. We increase the amount of grapeseed extract. This is significant because it's a very powerful antioxidant that supports some cardiovascular benefits inside of the body. So I'm really excited about that update. In addition to some new and exciting phytonutrients, artichoke, olive fruit, shiitake mushroom, elderberry, and turmeric. This is part of getting a more colorful blend of phytonutrients, but also supporting some additional claims in this product. So honing in a little bit more on these ingredient upgrades, we increase the amount of grapeseed. So it's standardized to a high amount of these polyphenols. They're powerful antioxidants. They support a healthy inflammatory balance, which is key to healthy aging, and it's supporting healthy circulation. That's part of the cardiovascular benefit that this higher amount is supporting that wasn't being supported in the previous formula. And then the artichoke extract. This provides a new liver and digestive health claim. When you think about artichoke, it's a really, really fun food-based ingredient. And this particular extract is really, really good because it's supporting those new benefits. You think about artichoke and how it works. One of the mechanisms of action is that it helps to stimulate bile. Bile helps to emulsify and break down fat, and a lack of bile synthesis and flow is one of the leading causes of indigestion. So I think this is going to be a nice thing where people are taking our product and they're feeling good in their digestive system because of the addition of this artichoke extract. What about olive, right? Olive fruit extract. This is bringing some of that Mediterranean goodness inside of our Life Pack formula, in addition to resveratrol and some of those other Mediterranean-based ingredients. But the olive fruit is kind of a new and exciting update. It's an antioxidant. It supports our heart, and it's delivered in a standardized amount to 4 milligrams of hydroxytyrosol. Now, hydroxytyrosol is one of the most powerful antioxidants on the planet. And this is an amount that's comparable to what you would get in the Mediterranean diet. It's equivalent to about 1 tablespoon of high quality extra virgin olive oil to provide that additional heart, cardiovascular, and antioxidant benefit from this Mediterranean powerhouse. Antioxidants. This is where we get into some of the science. Well, look, we know we're all exposed to different sources of oxidative stress, pollution, smoking, stress, sunlight, so much more. And these free radicals are these unpaired electrons, as you can see, right? Usually they want to be paired up. When they're unpaired, that's why they call them free radicals. They're free, they're not paired. And that unpairing makes these compounds very, very unstable and highly reactive, and that's why they do damage to our cells and accelerate aging. So the solution to that is we need antioxidants. But it's not just about one single antioxidant. And this can get a little complex, but if I can try to simplify it, we're exposed to these free radicals, and then we have these different radicals that need antioxidants to help neutralize them. Vitamin C comes along and donates a spare electron. But when it donates that spare electron, it needs some help. Vitamin C can actually recycle the antioxidant power of vitamin E. But then vitamin C needs a little help. You have ALA and glutathione that come to donate that electron to vitamin C to help give it its antioxidant potential back. And then you have these niacin-based enzymes that are part of this never-ending loop that can actually help to support our glutathione cycle. The bottom line is that these antioxidants, they don't work in isolation. They work as a team. And one of the key carotenoids or antioxidants in this network, excuse me, are carotenoids. These are the bright colored reds, oranges, and yellows, also found in leafy greens, that help to protect that front line of antioxidants. So think of them as kind of the foundation of antioxidant nutrition, because this is why they're a good indicator for total antioxidant status, because they act as that first line of defense to support all of these other vitamins and antioxidant nutrients in the body to allow them to do what they do. And this is why having a good, healthy amount of carotenoids is not only a good indicator of fruit and vegetable intake, it's also a good indicator of total antioxidant status, because they're found in the membranes of our cells, which is kind of that outside layer. And they're that first line of defense. So this is why antioxidants, they work as a team, not as individual isolated compounds. LifePak is providing a diverse set of antioxidants to really support and bolster that network inside of our bodies. We're using a natural form of vitamin E, which is more bioavailable than synthetic forms. We're using a buffered form of vitamin C. It's a little bit more gentle on the stomach. We're using selenium, copper, zinc, and manganese in good quality forms. These are cofactors to help with SOD, catalase, glutathione. These are intrinsic antioxidants that our body builds from these cofactors or these other compounds. We have a PhytoVantage Plus blend. This is the term that we're using to describe all of these other phyto or plant-based nutrients. So the increased amount of grapeseed, resveratrol, quercetin, citrus, olive, right? A lot of these Mediterranean-based antioxidants, shiitake mushroom, elderberry, artichoke, and curcumin. We also have carotenoids, beta carotene, lycopene, and lutein in amounts that could be found in healthy diets that most of us are not getting because we're not achieving even the minimum recommendation of fruits and vegetables. Now, when we talk about these colors in nature, I think it's important to back up and understand, well, why do plants actually synthesize their own antioxidant colors, right? Well, they're exposed to UV light, extreme heat and cold, drought, pollutants. And these conditions create reactive oxygen species that damage plants. And so the plants, their answer to this is they actually synthesize their own different types of antioxidants based on their own environment and what they actually need. And we have anthocyanins that provide a lot of the reds, but especially the purples and the blues, carotenoids, a lot of the yellows, oranges, and reds, flavonoids, a whole wide range of colors, polyphenols, right? There's all these different types of antioxidants that are providing the rainbow of colors. And so these colors, they're not just pretty, right? They actually protect plants. And just like they protect plants, they protect our bodies and support healthy aging. And this is why we should be eating the rainbow. So when it comes to this PhytoVantage Plus blend, just look how beautiful all these colors are, right? We have lycopene, resveratrol that provides some of the reds, beta carotene and curcumin that are providing the oranges, lutein and citrus bioflavonoids providing some of those yellow, really bright colors. Quercetin and shiitake, some of the browns and white colors. We have olive and artichoke providing some of the greens, and then grapeseed and elderberry providing some of the purple and blues. We have 10 plus plant-based phytonutrients that are supporting that full rainbow of colors that we get from nature. Now, this is the difference, right? It's about the rainbow, because these different colored nutrients are providing different types of antioxidants to provide more broad spectrum protection to support that full antioxidant network inside of the body. Now, phytonutrients, they're not just antioxidants. I know that's the term that we throw out because it's an easy story to tell, but there are multiple mechanisms of action of these phytonutrients where, yes, they are antioxidants, and that's super critical, but they also support inflammatory balance. They protect our DNA. They're supporting metabolic systems inside the body. They're involved in cell signaling, which means that they're signaling cells to produce gap junctions, to produce different things to protect the cells against damage. They have light filtering properties. You think about some of these carotenoids, they're found in the skin, they're found in the eyes. They can help to filter some of that light. Immune modulation, they're supporting a healthy immune response inside of the body. And they can actually modulate the microbiome. When you think about some of these phytonutrients, not all of them are completely absorbed. Some of them are actually metabolized by the microbiome to modulate some of those factors going on in the gut that can then, in turn, impact our body's metabolism or brain or skin or different things. And this is why this blend of phytonutrients, right? They're more than just antioxidants. They're supporting overall healthy aging and wellness. Well, what are the benefits, right? Let's get into the fun stuff here. So, LifePak is providing nutritional support for all body systems and organs. I mean, look at that comprehensive list right there: brain health, heart health, energy and metabolism, digestive and liver, bone and muscle, healthy aging, eye health, teeth and gums, immune health, hair, skin, and nails, cell protection, and antioxidant network. Okay. We're providing a broad spectrum of over 30 vitamins, minerals, carotenoids, and phytonutrients to support overall health. What I love about that, right? So, all packed inside of this really convenient sachet, you're getting all of that goodness in one. So, instead of going to the store and getting your brain formula and your eye formula, your teeth, all right, all of these different formulas, they're packed in one. This is why this is your nutritional foundation. It's an incredible product. What about our 6S quality process? For those who know, these are 6 steps that include selection, sourcing, specification, standardization, safety, and substantiation that are supported. This is our guarantee to the world that we're selecting bioavailable ingredients. We didn't just look at any type of form of nutrient. We wanted to maximize benefits inside of the body. Sourcing, where you source your ingredients actually matters. And we have a diverse set of nutrients to help provide and fill that phytonutrient gap and also provide a whole bunch of different colors. Specification, this is a whole bunch of tests that go into our products to make sure that it has the right appearance, the weight, that it disintegrates, and I'll talk about that more in a second. Standardization, this is where you standardize to active ingredients where applicable, but also the ingredient that you put on the label to make sure that we're meeting label claims so that what you see on the box, this is what you're getting as a consumer because we do the testing to back it up and confirm it. Safety. This is a given, but it's super critical to us. We're making sure to use ingredients that are safe, but also ingredients in safe amounts, and also doing the testing on things like heavy metals, other contaminants, and microbes to make sure that the nutrients in our formula are safe for all of our consumers. And then substantiation, right? We not only just put in random ingredients and call it good, we want to make sure that we're using nutrients in the right amounts to support all of the claims that I just backed up. And we have clinical studies that are icing on the cake to back it up and actually provide additional evidence for what we're all about with LifePak. So, LifePak and Prism is the perfect pair, right? We want you to scan on Prism. Start taking LifePak, scan at least weekly, track your improvements over time. LifePak is Prism Level 2 certified. What Level 2 certification means is that we expect a larger increase in your Prism score over time compared to taking a Level 1 certified product. It's based on the level of carotenoids in the supplement, but also the bioavailability of the ingredients in the product. And with this, you can know that your supplements are working, and we can track the progress over time. So, clinicals that prove it. This is where I geek out as a science trainer because I love the science. I love the clinicals. This is the icing on the cake that provides additional evidence. Let's begin with our LifePak Prism IO clinical study. This was a randomized, double-blind, placebo-controlled study. This is 46 healthy adults, 20 to 65 years of age, who took either LifePak or a placebo, and skin carotenoid levels were measured with a prototype Prism IL. This was actually in the development stages, and you can see with the results over time. Look at the LifePak, right? You can see that steady increase over time. We see a significant bump after week 8, and it continues to increase after week 12 with no sign of plateau. So the results show that the placebo group, look, they showed no significant change. And that's important because these carotenoid antioxidants are super critical for our health and they support systemic benefits around the body. Well, if you're not replenishing carotenoids with diet and or supplements, then they're either going to stay the same or they're going to decline over time because as they're used up, the body doesn't recycle them. So the only way to get them is from diet and or supplementation. What about as part of the same study? We not only looked at the PRISM response to see a significant increase, we also looked at some consumer behaviors. And this is a survey based looking at, hey, percent of positive responses for skin attributes. Well, look at that. The product gives me a more energized appearance. My eye area looks more refreshed. The product helps reduce signs of fatigue. My skin looks, feels healthier. My skin looks, feels younger, right? Looking at this scale, it was from 1 to 7 in this survey, and the life pack responses, the percent of positive responses after a short period of time is actually really, really impressive compared to the placebo that isn't seeing that same kind of impact. We also looked at measuring certain levels in the blood as biomarkers of these vitamins and minerals inside of the supplement, showing that yes, selenium, it did increase in the blood, and vitamin C, it is increasing in the blood as well. So we have the non-invasive detection of carotenoids showing an increase, and then we have the invasive detection looking at blood of these certain biomarkers showing that it's increasing as well. That actually gives us really good confidence that this format of tablets is breaking down, it's digesting, you get really good absorption of the nutrients that are found in LifePak. It is meaningful, it is significant, and it's going to make a difference in your life. Well, it's not just about the skin or these blood biomarkers. We also looked at a lot of these factors related to energy, immunity, mental health, and overall health. And I'm not going to read through all of these different questions, but if you just take a look at the screen, you're looking at these questions related to immunity. For example, I recover more quickly after getting sick. We have nutrients in the product like vitamin C, zinc, selenium that are supporting a healthy immune response and carotenoids, right? What about energy and metabolism, right? This is actually one of the first signs of aging where people notice that they have less energy. They are more fatigued. And having energy to do the things that you love is a critical aspect of the formulating science behind this new product. What about mood and brain health, right? We want to support mood and sleep and mental performance, in addition to long-term health and wellness. Like I mentioned toward the beginning of this training, there's this triage theory of aging. We're not just about preventing deficiency and filling those gaps. We want to support optimal nutrition to give you optimal benefits inside of your body. And we proved it here in consumers. This is what I love about this because this is subjective data, but it means that consumers that are taking the product, they're noticing a difference in these different areas that are helping them to live better lives. There's another study I got to talk about here. This is the LifePak Prism IO Yonsei clinical study. So this was an 8-week randomized double-blind placebo-controlled study. This was led by Dr. Hanjo Kim at Yonsei University at South Korea. 84 healthy Korean adults. They took either LifePak or a placebo. And the key findings, even people who already had moderate to high scores on their Prism device still improved with supplementation. What this teaches me as a science trainer is that no matter where you begin, where your baseline is, if you're 100, 200, 300, 400, 500 plus, you can still make changes to your diet, to your lifestyle, and see an increase and see the change that it has in your life. To me, baseline, it's not as important as what you do about it. What are the changes that you're going to take in your life? And adding LifePak as that nutritional foundation, to me, is a no-brainer. That's your sales term for the day. But it's also just, it makes good nutritional sense to do this. This also confirms that nutrients in tablet form, they're well absorbed. So we have multiple layers of evidence to support that this new format is going to be exciting, it's going to be well absorbed, and these nutrients are going to be digested to support the benefits inside the body. Plus, as you can see at the bottom, significant improvements in self-perceived skin radiance, lines and wrinkles, visibly younger looking skin, skin softness, and appearance of pores versus baseline. So this kind of helps to confirm the findings from the previous study, but even for those that are very, very healthy individuals that start with a relatively higher or moderate score on their PRISM, they're still noticing benefits in terms of their overall appearance. So we know those nutrients are getting into the bloodstream. They're going to the tissues, including the skin, to support the PRISM score increase, in addition to supporting those skin beauty appearance-like benefits. Be sure to take your life pack with a fat source. I cannot emphasize this enough, right? If you're going to take these sachets and all of those goodness, we have a lot of fat soluble nutrients inside of the product. We have different fat soluble vitamins like vitamin A, vitamin E, vitamin D, and vitamin K. And then we have fat soluble nutrients like these carotenoids, lycopene and beta carotene. As you can see in this study, this was actually looking at carotenoid absorption from a salad and salsa by humans with the addition of avocado or avocado oil as a fat source. And you can see with that fat source, you get increased bioavailability by 2 to 4 fold just by adding enough fat, right? So we have avocado in the study, but it can be any fat source. I would recommend avocados, nuts, seeds, olive oil, right? Whatever it is for you, make sure that you're consuming LifePak with that fat source to optimize the bioavailability of these nutrients. We have flexible dosing options. Okay. First, you're going to see take one packet, 10 tablets, once daily with food and water. That's great. The advantages of doing it once daily is that you get higher peak levels of water soluble nutrients. And it's a simpler, easy routine. We heard you. We heard your feedback that sometimes it's hard to take those 2 packets a day. And so we know that compliance is important. We want to get all of these nutrients at the recommended amounts that we have in this product inside of your body. So it's much better to just take it all at once than to take the first dose and forget the second dose. However, I know there's people out there that are like, well, I still want to take it twice a day. Well, that's great. If that's you, then split one packet in half and take it twice daily. You're going to take 5 tablets at breakfast and 5 tablets at dinner. And make sure those meals, right, have a little bit of liquid, have a little bit of fat so that you're maximally absorbing these fat soluble nutrients. Here's the advantages of twice daily. You get more consistent levels of water soluble nutrients. So instead of just the one peak, you get multiple peaks. And then it requires taking less tablets all at once. So this is flexible. Whatever works best for you, my recommendation, find whatever is consistent for you in your life and stick with it. Okay? Now, the delivery format. I already mentioned we have these really, really teeny tiny small tablets and LifePak elements. They're very easy to swallow. Okay? Many, many years ago, there were concerns about tablets not disintegrating, not breaking down. But you know what? Modern manufacturing uses advanced technology to ensure that these tablets, they are disintegrating, right? So they begin as a tablet, and then when it's mixed in the digestive system, they break down into smaller particles, and you get effective absorption. It's very similar when you compare capsules to tablets using the proper technology in terms of disintegration and breakdown and absorption. Okay. And we confirm this, right? We're using USP standards to confirm, meaning the testing that is done, as you kind of saw in that little video, where it actually moves the tablets in water. When you think about your digestive system, when you put those tablets in, well, you have some acid that helps to break it down, and you have what's called peristalsis, which is the muscles that contract to help kind of move it along the digestive tract to properly help it disintegrate and break down. We confirm that in our clinical studies, and every batch is tested. So you don't have to worry about this. We've worried about it enough for you to make sure that the science is there, the product is there. We would not have switched over if we were not 100% confident in this new technology. So, a few questions to address. Okay, these are things that have come in. Why are we using natural form of vitamin E? Well, when we get into the chemistry of vitamin E, we're using the natural form of vitamin E. Okay, and as you can see on the label, we're using as D-alpha tocopherol succinate, or excuse me. This is different from the DL alpha. If you see the DL, that means it's synthetic. We're using the D form, okay? Now, that's important for chemistry or biochemistry because the natural form comes in the alpha tocopherol that is fully absorbed and utilized inside of the body. You compare that to the synthetic form of vitamin E. Synthetic comes in 8 different forms, okay? The problem, these are isomers or different chemical forms of the same thing. The concern is that not all 8 of these synthetic forms are actually absorbed and utilized in the body as vitamin E. And this is why you want to look for natural forms as we have on our product, right? The D form, not the DL. It's amazing how one letter difference on a label can have a huge impact on the bioavailability of the nutrients. So yes, we're using all natural. This is a good example of using the best in science and the best in nature. When a natural form is superior, this is something that we are going to use in our formula as we did with the natural form of vitamin E. Now, what is the absorption rate of tablets? I think I kind of already covered this briefly. It's similar to capsules in terms of disintegration and absorbing the nutrients. Okay, so you're getting the same benefits, the same efficacy, whether using these tablets or you're using capsules. It's going to be the same. You don't have to worry about any real practical or significant difference between the two. What is methylation and why is it important? So we could spend all day on this, but methylation, maybe if I back up here, methylation is simply a process where a methyl group is attached to something to turn it on and make it do what it does in the body. Okay. Now we have this cycle of things that are going on in the body. It begins with homocysteine. If you've heard of it, it's a marker of cardiovascular health. Well, homocysteine gets converted to methionine. Gets converted to SAM, and that is what's called a universal donor that actually donates these methylation products to our DNA, to neurotransmitters, to lipids, right, to turn them on and allow them to do what they need to do. Now, as part of this cycle, and there's more to it, I'm trying to simplify it. Um, when it goes from homocysteine to methionine, methylfolate acts as a methyl donor to actually allow that process to take place. And methylcobalamin is actually a transporter to allow that methyl group to actually do what it needs to do in that cycle. So the reason methylation is so important is that it's supporting, right, our DNA. It's supporting neurotransmitters. It's supporting our lipids, right? Because we need these nutrients that act as cofactors or transporters in this process. And that's the reason why we added these active forms of B vitamins inside of our supplement. I hope that makes sense. And then why should everyone switch over to the new formula? Well, because it's based on the latest science, right? We have so many upgrades. We've increased the vitamin D. We have vitamin K2. We have an expanded blend of phytonutrients to cover the full spectrum of colors in the rainbow and all of the other benefits that I talked about in this training today. Okay. There really is no reason that I can think of from a science perspective why someone should hang on to the old formula instead of switching over to the new. It's just the latest science. It's going to provide the best of the best. It's convenient. It's wonderful. It's something that I've switched over personally to. And I recommend if you are a living human being, living and breathing, right, of adult age, that you switch over and you start taking our Life Pack product as that nutritional foundation. So we have a family of solutions. I talked about our Life Pack, which is about optimized nutritional support for daily vitality and healthy aging. I didn't cover today Life Pack Elements, which is more of focused nutrition, or Life Pack Nano, which we'll cover in the future, which is more comprehensive and advanced nutritional support. So this tiered approach, I love it. It's kind of like climbing those rings on a ladder, right? You got to climb multiple steps to be able to get to Life Pack Elements. It's not just your basic run of the mill. It's still an advanced supplement. But then on top of that, we have our Life Pack. And then if you want to take it to the top, we have our Life Pack Nano. The options are great because it allows you flexible and personalized solutions with our supplement routine and our supplement portfolio that we have, right? Maybe someone wants Life Pack Nano, and that's fantastic, right? That's the best of the best in this Life Pack line. But maybe you want Life Pack, which is still a fantastic product, but it allows some cost savings for you to be able to support that and complement that with other supplements that you want to take in your routine. So we have something for everybody. I love this family of solutions. Now, I mentioned this several times throughout the training, but you look at a house, okay? A house needs a strong foundation. And in terms of our product portfolio, if you look at that foundation, Life Pack is that daily foundational nutrition, okay? This is going to help to fill those vitamin and mineral gaps with optimized nutrient levels, and it's going to help to fill those phytonutrient gaps, okay? This is the foundation for our house. This is the foundation for our body. In addition, we have Age Lock Youth, which is going to be more of the anti-aging foundation for those that are interested in that next level of targeting gene expression support and these aging defense mechanisms for those systemic anti-aging benefits. And then we have what I call these pillars of support. These are targeted supplements that are going to support different areas of your health. Now, do you need to take all of these? Absolutely not. But you want to personalize the ones that are going to mean the most to you based on your needs your wants, your desires, and your gaps from your diet and lifestyle. Maybe brain health is a big concern for you. Well, you want to hone in on brain health products, or maybe metabolic health, right? Looking at glucose and insulin regulation, or maybe gut health, immune health, skin health. We have so many other different categories, but these are targeted solutions. And then on top of that, right, is supporting that full benefit, that full house-like support inside of our body, right? But you have to begin with that foundation. That is critical. That's what Life Pack is all about. This is your foundation. This is a product I recommend, and it's going to be fantastic. I hope you love the new formula that we have. With that, I'll close my training out for the day. I hope everyone has a great day. Thank you and take care.